Greetings, my good bitches. The name's Francis, QueenCokeFrancis. I'm an editor, Twitch streamer, drag artist, and I'm here because Tucker Carlson is apparently trying to be cool. So naturally, I have been summoned to talk about it. I realized that in almost 5 years of me being on YouTube, this is the first video I've ever done about Tucker Carlson. I mean, I've made fun of his green M&M fetish in the past, and he made quite the unexpected cameo when I read Trident fanfic to my friends. Tucker Carlson saw the whole thing.
Tucker
Wait,
Carlson!
what is he doing here? What tie is he wearing?
But no one believes him.
Why would they?
Chapter 2. I think the main reason I've avoided talking about him is because John Oliver already said that he looks like if the word thud was a person, and I don't think I can top that roast. But as someone who gets paid significantly less than John Oliver and does not have a writer's room, I'll do my best, especially because he's actually the biggest influence on this channel and my content in general. Tucker Carlson, whose name is more unfortunate than anything we'll discuss today, has had quite the Trump-tastic career in the past decade, from becoming Fox News' biggest star for lying, to getting fired from Fox News, also for lying, and flirting with a possible presidential run in 2028, and good God, Yellowstone could not erupt soon enough. Tucker has been one of the most influential propagandist mouthpieces for far-right extremism and white supremacy, and on top of the conspiracy peddling, the white replacement theory fear-mongering, Holocaust revisionism, COVID denial, election rigging claims that resulted in the defamation suit that got him fired, and being an overall insufferable contrarian that's one of the worst products of the Fairness Doctrine repeal. Worst of all, Tucker Carlson has attended at least 50 Grateful Dead concerts. But on today's episode of The Girls Are Fighting, which is a phrase white women on threads will tell you is misogynistic, Tucky has actually started to part ways with Trumpy, citing Israel's influence on US involvement in the war in Iran. But I guess cum is thicker than blood, because upon being ousted from the MAGA movement, Tucker said, quote, "There are times I get annoyed with Trump, right now definitely included, but I'll always love him no matter what he says about me." I am with you, Tucker. They have no idea what Trump is like behind closed doors. Trump can actually be really sweet to you when nobody else is around. Sure, he pushed you down some stairs, but he at least apologized, right? Oh, he didn't? I'm sure he's just putting you in your place for your own good. You must deserve it. No, really, Tucker, you deserve it. I'm not even joking right now. So with Tucker's inevitable journey down the right-wing loser podcaster pipeline, it's more important now than ever to get his name out there again. Except, everyone who recognizes his name scoffs at it because of his reputation, and everyone who doesn't recognize his name scoffs at it because his name is f***ing Tucker Carlson. Tucking Tucker Carlson? So in one of the most grandiose modern examples of something about broken clocks, some of his merch is actually really funny. Now, that is not to say that I think he's grown or changed as a person, or that he's going to leave the right-wing death cult that made him a multi-millionaire. If Tucker Carlson criticizing Israel means he's suddenly worth siding with, you are very dumb. The only thing that's changed about Tucker Carlson over time is that his head slightly grew into fitting this hairstyle. But, as you all know, I am a queen of the people, and after numerous requests to do a video on the subject, I ranked all of Tucker Carlson's merch available on store.tuckercarlson.com. And I gotta be honest with y'all, I low-key want some of it. But first, to keep the lights on in my house and makeup on my face, a brief word from our sponsor and our very handsome host. So let's say you're a sheep. It's been a good day working at your sheep-owned business, and you decide to try out that restaurant for sheep you've heard about. It's vegan, it's organic, it's pasture to table, people only. So one day on your lunch break, you head over to the sheep restaurant, you walk up to the counter and order your sheep lunch, and you can't believe what you're seeing. A wolf at the cash register dressed in your clothes. You realize this isn't the safe space for sheep you thought it was. It's just a front for wolves to take your hard-earned sheep money. There's a reason you wouldn't let wolves run a restaurant for sheep. Just like there's a reason why Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. When John Morgan's brother Tim suffered a catastrophic injury while working at Disney World, the mishandling of Tim's case led John to believe that the system was rigged against financially struggling families like his. In a world of sheep businesses run by wolves, John vowed to protect the powerless against powerful interests, creating a law firm that emphasizes helping clients who might otherwise get shortchanged, and most importantly, doing so with compassion, transparency, and no upfront fees. Today, Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm, with more than 1,000 lawyers and 100 offices nationwide. With a proven track record of fighting for the people for over 35 years, Morgan & Morgan knows a thing or two about fighting to get you the compensation that you deserve, with over $30 billion recovered for their clients. If you're injured because of someone else's negligence, you deserve to get paid, and their fee is free unless they win a case. Not all law firms are the same, so if you're ever injured or in an accident, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. You can start your claim now by clicking the link in the description, by scanning the QR code right next to my very handsome face, or by going to forthepeople.com/queen. And with that, back to our regularly scheduled programming. So our first category is woodware unironically. Am I going to officially retract my statement that conservatives can't do comedy? Obviously not. That's like my whole shtick. Will I make exceptions in genuinely funny instances like these ones? You bet your bottom dollar I will. This leads into our next category. Woodware ironically. Still funny, but with a disclaimer this time. Our third category is
shut up, he thinks he's witty.
Eye rollers, but you know what, Tucker? I'm in a good mood. So I'll let you have these ones. Next category is It's Giving Daily Wire, and yes, I mean that derogatorily. Last year I made a similar video where I ranked the cringiest products in the Daily Wire store. Turns out one right-wing grifter's attempts at comedy are shockingly similar to another right-wing grifter's attempts at comedy. Big f***ing surprise there. Our penultimate category is Basic Bitch. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Is it problematic to say that all cishet white dudes look and act exactly the same? And our final category is never mind. Just when Tucker starts to show glimpses of wittiness and originality, he immediately shits all over it with at least one of the two jokes that conservatives have been clinging to for decades. It should be noted that there are also lots of books for sale on this website. Naturally, there are plenty about himself and vaccine conspiracy theories, a lot of RFK Jr.'s greatest hits. But this book catalog also includes, but is not limited to, countless doomsday prep manuals, a meditation guide, The Great Gatsby, the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, and best of all, Russell Brand's How to Become a Christian in 7 Days, the latest, greatest, rapist rom-com, coming to a PureFlix near you. Oh, and Melania's book is also for sale. I get it, Tucker. I used to have trouble throwing out gifts from my exes too. Really quick, let's see what it says at the bottom for all of these. At the heart of everything we do is our firm belief in the dignity of the human person. More of the greatest hits from the guy who said, and I quote, "Leadership requires killing people. We will honor your God-given dignity by always telling you the truth, and in so doing, we will once again prove the iron law that true things prevail." Calm down, drama queen. We're talking about mugs and dad caps here. Anyway, let's just get into it. The vibes are incredibly high with this first entry. Nation building is gay. Available on mugs and caps. I I don't know how we're gonna top this one. Do these things have descriptions? To maintain the beauty and integrity of your purchase. Oh, okay, so he's just hitting us with the Zack Snyder 4-3 artistic integrity thing. See, I love this because I don't believe in borders or states, and I unfortunately still use gay as an insult. Sorry, Hilary Duff. I doubt he made this for the same reason, but I'm sorry. If you don't find this at least kind of funny, you are that friend who's too woke. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules here. I would absolutely sip my gay fruity tea out of this bad boy. Next up, oh boy, available on mugs, hats, and shirts. It says APAC, an offer you can't refuse. I like this mug the best because of the little marionette cross handle. This is gonna be a bit of a rant. As a Jewish queer, I feel like I should start by saying this. APAC should be considered a terrorist organization at this point. It's buying and selling our politicians who are supposed to be serving the United States and are instead bending the knee to our weird little colonization project in Palestine. It's important that we promote and elect candidates who do not take APAC money. And while that number is still pretty small, it is growing because we decided we want candidates who represent our interests and not the interests of Israel. The anti-Israel sentiment amongst people on the right is probably the most prevalent cases of something about broken clocks nowadays. And it does truly boggle the mind that so many corporate Democrats have not taken note. All that being said, we have to remember where these sentiments are coming from and where their intentions lie, which is why the amount of so-called leftists I've seen simping for Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Nick fucking Fuentes, all because they oppose Israel, is genuinely disturbing to me. These people are loud, proud, shameless, racists, Islamophobes, and anti-Semites. Just because they oppose Israel does not mean they support Palestinians. I know we're looking for glimmers of hope where we can, and we're trying to get as many allies as possible. But if you actually think Christo-fascist mouthpieces like Tucker, Candace, Marjorie, and Nick are smart enough to see through Israeli propaganda that intentionally conflates Zionism with Judaism, you are just as stupid as they are. Don't think I don't see you on social media with your little juice box emojis where you weaponize a literal genocide to spread anti-Semitic dog whistles. You fell for Israeli propaganda exactly as planned because your anti-Semitism is louder than your so-called support for Palestinian people. At the end of the day, you only cared about being the most correct person in the room by any means necessary. Anti-Semitism is not going to liberate Palestine, and if you disagree with that, go watch Asmongold or something. I don't care. Alright, now that that's off my chest, I'd like to tell you all about a fundraiser I'm helping promote right now. This is my new friend Bobby, and he's a gay Palestinian man who's not only trying to survive the genocide, but also trying to seek refuge in a more queer-friendly country. As you can imagine, he is not out to his family and hasn't been able to build a community with other queer and trans people in Gaza out of fear. I've included a link to his Chuffed campaign in the description box, which is currently focusing on his survival in Gaza, crossing the border, and finding respite immediately after. If you can't support the campaign financially, please feel free to share it on social media or with any other queer pro-Palestine folks out there. Alright, where was I? Oh yeah, APAC mug. Again, he's right, but I know it's not coming from the place where it should be. So I'll say I'd wear this one ironically, but only because it's from him. Know what I mean? Speaking of Tucker Carlson still being a disingenuous, racist, Islamophobic shit stain on humanity, here's more merch that I laughed out loud at because I have a nervous laugh. That's right, good bitches, the Zoran Mamdani panic is still alive and well. Because God forbid we have a couple of Muslim baddies running one of the greatest cities in this dogshit country. Thanks for wishing him luck, Tuck. So far, things have actually been going pretty good because he's actually doing all the things that he said he was gonna do. Amazing what we can accomplish when we keep AIPAC out of elections. Tucker really thought he ate with these. Apparently the shirts go up to 4XL, so it's inclusive sizing at least. Honestly, the NYC beanie with the hammer and sickle goes really hard. Here's a hat that I read in Ben Shapiro's voice. Actually, I wonder if these came out before or after Ben talked shit on Tucker at America Fest, and then Tucker took the stage and talked even more shit on Ben at America Fest. And yes, these idiots were actually at a real convention called America Fest, and The Boys is a goddamn documentary.
And the people who refuse to condemn Candace's truly vicious attacks, and some of them are speaking here, are guilty of cowardice.
I just got here, and I feel like I missed the first part of the program. Hope I didn't miss anything meaningful.
Tucker Carlson, it is not an excuse to go silent on Candace's targeting of TPUSA.
I watched it. I laughed.
If you host a Hitler apologist, Nazi-loving, anti-American piece of refuse like Nick Fuentes,
To hear calls for, like, deplatforming and denouncing people at a Charlie Kirk event, I'm like, what? This is hilarious.
he knew that Nick Fuentes is an evil troll, and that building him up is an act of moral imbecility.
I wonder why. Why are you asking that question? I detect in the question.
And that is precisely what Tucker Carlson did. He built Nick Fuentes up.
But I will never, ever denounce people I love to satisfy the mob.
Just as he ought to take responsibility for glazing pornographer and alleged sex trafficker Andrew Tate.
Could be me.
Conspiracy theories and just guessing questions, that's lazy and stupid and misleading. There's someone here who's a very bad man, and he's friends with JD Vance.
Ladies, please. You both deserve hemorrhoids the size of grapes. This one is definitely giving Daily Wire energy. Gross. You can tell he was really proud of this one because it's on a mug, 3 different hats, and 3 different shirts. And it says, "Sorry, I thought you were a Fed." This is the perfect gift for the Dale Gribble in your life who doesn't have any of Dale's endearing qualities. Similar to the Chud saying that Hank Hill would have voted for Trump, I've also seen people say that Dale was at the insurrection. Here's my theory. Dale Gribble was at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. on January 6th, 2021, but he was not at the insurrection. Like, he was doing something underground the whole time that shit was going on, and then he comes out and he's like, wait, there was an insurrection? I can't do a Dale voice, I'm very sorry. I can only do Milhouse. A lot of you liked my Milhouse impression, so I'll do it again. Say the line, Bart! Anyway, I don't think I could wear this one unironically, but I guess it's funny enough. It was about time we got some little self-glazing action going. This design is, unsurprisingly, the one that's most widely available on store.tuckercarlson.com. Not just on mugs and caps and t-shirts, but on hoodies, beanies, sweaters, and coasters. Anyway, Tucker is a basic bitch, and nothing will ever change that. Here's a mug and a cap that say, "I don't endorse smoking." That strongly wink. This does kind of remind me of Michael Knowles' cigar collection on the Daily Wire website, because nothing says masculinity and owning the libs like lung cancer, I guess. Not that I actually care about people smoking. Do whatever you want. Just shut up, he thinks he's witty. For the past decade, we roasted the right for having 2 jokes. Blue heron pronouns and I identify as an attack helicopter, which are really just the same joke when all is said and done. But boy howdy, are we about to be put in our place once and for all, because the right finally has a 3rd joke. Anything involving Somali daycare centers, especially the Quality Leering Center phenomenon that's grabbed conservative comedy by the balls and tickles them daily. We'll get to that in a minute, but first we have to look at Tucker Carlson's parody of the brand Supreme. I don't know what that has to do with the Somali daycare centers thing that launched some mediocre boy on YouTube into a level of fame that I should be at instead. Instead, this was a skater brand founded in New York in the 1990s. I think this was Tucker and his creative team literally just being like, I recognize this brand. I know this joke. They both start with an S. I was having fun till you came in with even more hack shit, Tuck. So now we're getting into the I Heart series. These are some statement pieces that are almost guaranteed to spark zero questions. Let's see. I heart America. Boring. Basic bitch. I heart conspiracies. Now we're getting somewhere. See, I don't heart conspiracies. I don't heart them at all, actually. But I am fascinated by them because I'm, mentally ill. And boy, what a year it has been for the conspiracy theorists. So I'll wear this one ironically. I heart fishing and I heart hunting. I'm vegetarian, so I don't have a horse in this race, but apparently Tucker genuinely does love his stereotypical little man activities, and that's fine. Personally, I don't enjoy hobbies that involve killing living beings with families, but you do you, sis, I guess. Still won't stop me from thinking you're basic as hell. I heart nicotine. Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, the only time I ever get any kind of nicotine fix is when I go to a hookah bar once every, 2 years. I can't wear this unironically because I don't actually smoke tobacco, but I'd totally wear this hat to show the world what a poser I truly am. Oh, wait. Is this because he was pushing Zyn at one point? Or Zine? I don't know how to pronounce these brands, and I don't care. This isn't in the script. I just now realized that, while I was filming. And finally in this series, I Heart USA. Boring. Basic bitch. Here's a cute one. Everything is backwards, and backwards is printed backwards. Get it? Because you're scared and confused about the world evolving around you, and since you refuse to adapt, you decided that it's everyone around you who's wrong. And backwards is printed backward. Cinema. Absolute cinema. Shut up. He thinks he's witty. No, really, Tucker. You ate with this one. This next one is a personal favorite. Sorry I called you gay, by the way. Dude, are you f***ing kidding me? There's no way this wasn't a Cherry Kitten shirt at one point. I absolutely hate that buying this hat would mean I'd be giving $35 to Tucker Carlson. Oh, and I definitely have to get the red one with the white font. The only antithesis of this to myself is that I would never apologize for calling someone gay, but I would absolutely wear this unironically. Here's the cleverest article of clothing that your alcoholic uncle owns because he actually thinks the government gives a shit about him in any way. It's a hat that says, "Not today, CIA." First off, great that it rhymes. Secondly, I too have an inherent distrust of the CIA, and if you don't, ask yourselves why the CIA would be working to arm Kurdish forces in Iran right now. Surely nothing bad could ever happen from American interference with Southwest Asian affairs. Right? There couldn't possibly be a sinister motive behind Netanyahu lobbying for US Kurdish cooperation, right? Surely there are good intentions behind the CIA's actions in Southwest Asia, even though they've literally never committed to any kind of Kurdish autonomy or statehood whatsoever. Right? I'm not sure why Tucker Carlson, of all people, is afraid of the CIA or anything related to the federal government. It's literally designed to protect people like him. So anyway, we're talking about what I would wear. So I'll say I'd wear this ironically. This next entry is a bit of an odd duck. We have a mug and a cap that say PSYOP Critic. I was having trouble categorizing this one because I wouldn't wear it ironically, but it's also not particularly clever, but it's also not super basic. It just seems contradictory. I mean, you have a whole merch page flooded with pro-conspiracy content, from books on COVID denial and psychological warfare, to CIA whistleblower stories, to countless works by RFK Jr. that someone was kind enough to translate. Sorry, RFK, I don't speak garbage disposal. I'm going to hell for that joke, but it was worth it for the guy who wants to put me on a registry because I can't sit still. Is Is Tucker criticizing the psyops he claims exist? Or is he criticizing the very idea of psyops? So I think I'll put this in the Daily Wire category because it's bold enough to spark questions from your coworkers, but they won't actually care enough to ask them out loud. Here we go, good bitches. We're back with the third of their 2.5 jokes. I heart leering. The heart in question is a Somali flag, cause get it? English isn't their first language, so that means they don't deserve to be here, and they should be mocked for it. I mean, yeah, the Learning Center was actually promptly shut down after that whole investigation that ended up being a total nothing burger, but who cares? Kick them while they're down, I say. I'd argue that this one is less comparable to the I identify as jokes and is more similar to the one joke they clung to in the 2000s when the ACLU made one bad call and by God, conservative commentators clung to that L like wreckage in a storm. Kinda like how Conservapedia keeps a list of all of the times they were proven correct. God, you guys are so sad. Finally, something that's available in pink. We've got neocons are gay for Israel. God damn it, Tucker, you did not have to make these so goddamn funny. I haven't laughed this hard at anything a conservative has done since Trump called Ron DeSantis Meatball Ron. Lord forgive me, Meatball Ron is the funniest nickname ever given to somebody I despise as much as Ron DeSantis. I already said my piece on this subject earlier, but I'd honestly wear this one unironically. Cause the APAC one wasn't that funny, but this one actually is. There's another one that says neocons are gay for war, which is also true, but extra ironic coming from the guy who said, as I mentioned earlier, leadership requires killing people. War kills people, and neoconservatives love war, which means they're gay, and gay people should be in charge. That is what you're saying, right, Tucker? Next up, it's him fishing. Just old Tucker Carlson, fly fishing. I mean, you wouldn't know it was him just by looking at the shirt, so hypothetically you could potentially get laid while wearing it, but then your partner might grab your shirt during the cleanup part, and then you'd see the little Tucker Carlson stamp of approval up close, and then you'd realize, oh, not only did I just bang a dude who watches Tucker Carlson, but also actually gives him money for merch. I don't know, guys. If I made my own merch and it was just me fly fishing, wouldn't you all think that was just a little bit basic? Just like the Daily Wire, we just have to bring our pets into our little political fanaticisms, don't we? We've got dog bowls for small puppers and big doggos alike. And they say God-fearing, dog-loving. Personally, I think it would be way funnier to say dog-fearing, God-loving. But I know you don't want to upset the big man upstairs, who always insists that you need to be afraid of him, even though he's apparently your dad. He's an especially big prick in the Old Testament. Old Testament God versus New Testament is like 2005 Kratos versus 2018. He really chilled out after having a kid. Where was I? Oh yeah, Daily Wire category for this one. Coming up on our last few entries, thank God, here's a hat that says, what is that? So, enlighten me, good bitches. I've never been able to watch Tucker Carlson for more than 8 seconds without wanting to Persona 3 myself. Is this like one of his catchphrases or something? Is this just what he says whenever he sees any minority? Or maybe this isn't a catchphrase, it's just something he thinks will provoke thoughts and spark questions, and the real question here is, who cares? Oh look, a hat that says USA on it, and it's inside of a heart.
How original.
Well, not everything can be a certified hood classic. That's what we have this category for. Here's a hat made just for people who write down Blue Chew promo codes. It's a beanie that says, just asking questions. Ah yes, the great American pastime in this free marketplace of ideas. Though I'm not crazy about the fit, I actually do really like this royal blue color of this beanie. I wish this color was available on more products, and I can't believe I'm wishing there was a larger variety of colors in Tucker Carlson's merch store. It would fit in perfectly with the Daily Wire's collection of faux intellectual catchphrases that were also popularized during an era of aggressive anti-intellectualism. And last but certainly not least, y'all. United States versus Lindsey Graham. Dude, are you kidding me? I can't believe it, but I think Tucker Carlson just reminded we the people of one thing that we can unite over, and that's hating Lindsey Graham. I haven't seen an iota of support for Lindsey Graham on the internet, except for that fateful day when the Dead Kennedys Twitter tweeted their support for Lindsey Graham and Mitt Romney after the insurrection. That was my villain origin story.
You fucking...
Lady G, Miss Girl, you've been around forever. I keep forgetting about your existence until you show up once a year to be like, war is good, actually. And then everyone reminds you that you can totally join it now. You've been able to since like 2011. Times they are a-changin'. Similar to Tucker's opposition to Israel for all the wrong reasons, I imagine he hates Lindsey Graham for being a little light in the loafers. But you know what? Let's cling together on this one the way you've been clinging to those 3 jokes for 20 years. I would absolutely wear this one. I'm never really sure how to end my ranking videos, so I'll end it with this. I love you all very, very much. I'm very glad that you're here. If at any point in your life you did not want to be here with us, I'm very glad that you decided to be after all. As long as we are here for each other and we keep doing our best, we will still have the bit of hope in humanity that gets us out of bed in the morning, and you guys are doing just that by making fun of Tucker Carlson with me. If you can do something more impactful than that, I highly recommend it. But in the meantime, your butts look fantastic, and I'd like to check out some equally fantastic winning comments from the last video. DK Bryant says, Tom McDonald looks like he asks high schoolers if he can finish their cigarettes and gets told no. Corey then says, I feel very maternal towards this Tinkerbell tattoo in the same way people did towards the Eraserhead baby. The J-Lov says, immediately upon you asking what Carly Chirk would be buried with Egyptian pharaoh style, my partner said, the cuck chair, before I'd even processed the question. That is the only time he's locked in this entire month. You too could be featured in the next video. Leave a comment below. I will pick my favorite ones and give you a shout out next time, but if you'd like to guarantee your name to be featured at the end of every video, please consider joining my Patreon. If you join any of the membership tiers that are conveniently named after Fallout protagonists, your name will be mentioned at the end of every video. You might also get other cool stuff like access to my Discord, behind the scenes content on how I make my wigs, ad-free and uncensored versions of my videos. So if you love my content and my drag, you can support this channel directly by clicking the link to my Patreon in the description box. And if you'd rather give your money to a much more worthy cause, I have included the link to my friend Bobby's Chuffed campaign in the description box. Even if it's just sharing the link and getting the word out, that would mean the absolute world to us. If you'd like to see me simp for my favorite game characters and get visibly frustrated in real time, please follow me on Twitch. But if you have better things to do on the weekends, you can catch my favorite streams on my brand new gaming channel, QueenCokeFrancis Live. I post new streams there weekly, and you can watch parts 1 through 8 of my Date Everything playthrough right meow. That's all of them. And now that that other series is done, I will be moving on to other games as promised, and I will periodically hold polls in my YouTube community tab on what you'd like to see me play next. And if you'd like to see even more of my clown mug elsewhere, please consider following me on Instagram or Bluesky. My handle for all of the above is at QueenCokeFrancis. If you enjoyed this video and you haven't done so already, please confront your on-again, off-again boyfriend about him invading Iran, even though you already asked him so many times not to. But when he inevitably ignores you because of his frontotemporal dementia, grab his attention once his eyes do that thing where they keep shifting downward, and go ahead and unzip your pants and dick slap those like and subscribe buttons as hard as you can. Thank you again to Morgan and Morgan for sponsoring this video, and thank you to all my patrons and subscribers who keep this channel going. And, of course, as always, until next time,